Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Econ K88, and today I'm in Toledo's historic Old West End district, precisely 2215 Collingwood. And my question to you is, what should be done with this building, this historic mansion that has fallen into probably beyond saving at this point, in my opinion, but I want to know what you guys think. And I want some of my overseas subscribers and folks from other parts of the United States to see some of the things that have been left abandoned here in America's Rust Belt. I'm not sure how long it's been since this home was occupied. You can see the house next to it. It's a humongous mansion. And that church over there, that stone building, that's for sale. That's been empty and for sale for at least a couple years, maybe longer than that now, but just a humongous building that's just sitting there. Another church there. They're doing a lot of construction here on Collingwood, and that's caused a lot of controversy. They cut a bunch of trees down that the folks in the neighborhood here did not want removed, and the city removed it anyway. Let's get a little bit closer look at this house. What would you do with it if you had a chance to buy it? I'm not even sure that the city wouldn't give it to you if you promised to restore it. Look at these carvings. Again, this is 2215 Collingwood. For my Google Maps folks who may want to take a look at the rest of the area. And I've done several videos about the Old West End because it is an interesting place. It definitely shows signs of Toledo's glory, more glorious eras. And it also certainly does show how Toledo has collapsed from its former heights. I'm sure at one time or another, some of Toledo's wealthier families have probably passed through this place once upon a time. There's the address. Yeah, definitely 2215. It says it's private property. It doesn't say it's owned by the city land bank, but who knows? And when folks started running for the suburbs, neighborhoods like the Old West End, in many big cities, not just Toledo, Detroit has neighborhoods like this as well. Oh wow, that's pretty cool there. And I was actually thinking about driving up to Detroit today, but really there's no reason to drive to Detroit. I can find similar abandoned historic architecture right here in my own backyard. I'd love to be able to get inside this place, but I'm not about to break in here. There's a lot of neighbors around. I wouldn't break in anyway. If it was just open, I would go in, but you can see this place has been empty for a long time. There are literally trees growing on the roof here. What would you do with this building if you owned it? Or if you were in charge of the city's neighborhoods department or land bank and you had control of this property? Would it just see the wrecking ball? Not sure why they added this onto the back here. It's almost like it was some kind of a business or a museum. To me, that definitely takes away from some of the historic aspects of the property. one time they had some security lighting working here, but yeah, those trees are actually getting pretty large up there. Another historic home here. Looks like there's quite a few people living. This is probably just an apartment building next door. Yeah, with all that, there's probably almost 10 cars sitting out there. And this here, if it wasn't so far gone, could probably be turned into a small apartment building. But it would just take a lot of money. Probably too much money in a dead town like Toledo if this were in Boston or New York. But then again, if it was in Boston or New York, it would have never been abandoned like this in the first place. Again, I want to give a political plug to a guy that has contacted me. An unpaid endorsement, by the way. Ron Johns for Toledo City Council, folks. He's running as a Ron Paul Republican. He watches my videos, and he contacted me and asked me for some ideas on how he can economically possibly turn Toledo around. And really, Mr. Johns, my advice is, since you're a Ron Paul Republican, just do what Ron Paul would do. I don't think you can really go wrong there, but in a town like this, in a Democratic, or in a town that's controlled by Democrats and unions like Toledo is, good luck, buddy. I already voted, and I voted for you last week. We have early voting here, for those that may not know. And I voted for Ron Johns. So if you live in Toledo, give him a vote, folks. We need as many Ron Paul-like thinkers as we can in this town. Just look at the width of these sidewalks here. And that church over there is just humongous. So that's it for this one. This is Econ Cat 88 signing off from Toledo's historic Old West End. Don't believe me, believe the sign. Ground zero of America's economic collapse and empty historic buildings which are falling apart. Please subscribe, please comment. Thank you for watching. And again, vote for Mr. Ron Johns for Toledo City Council if you live in town.